Hey, folks, it's Mike, and I would like to thank our sponsor, Sunset Lake Farms out of Burlington, Vermont. Amazing people, amazing product, high quality CBD that I love, and I'm using daily. My favorites are the Vibe Gummies, the Salve with Arnica, the Dark Roast Coffee, and my doggy loves the treats. And you guys can partake in all of these great products at a discount if you go to sunsetlakecbd.com and use promo code DENTED at checkout. That is DENTED at checkout for 20% off of your entire purchase. If you've been thinking about trying CBD, now's the time. Head on over, tell them I sent you. Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Dented Cans. It's your host, Mike Fenoya. Hope you guys are doing great. And I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. And if you are, please rate, review, and subscribe. It goes a long way. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe on socials. It's at MikeFinoia. You can find all my live dates at MikeFinoia.com. Got a bunch of great stuff coming up. Great episode today. So excited to have my guest, Todd Gursslin. Todd is a comic out of Rochester, New York. Good friend of mine, new friend. And we became friends as old guys, so it's fun to finally have a new friend. And we get deep, we get honest, we get real. We talk about recovery, we talk about comedy, we talk about life, music, all of it. So thank you, Todd, for joining, and follow him at Todd Gursslin. It'll be in the show notes. And enjoy, everybody, and thank you so much. We'll see you next time. This is what I'm excited to chat with you, because we're new friends and we're old guys, and that's rare.
It is.
Yeah. Todd Gursslin. What
hey,
up, buddy?
thanks, man. Hey, dude, I feel like it's like new friends, but we've known each other a year. We've talked to each other. I think we've talked to each other almost like every other day for at least the past 6 months.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
And this is one of the first times we got to meet face to face, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you're
but two old
me.
guys like us, I was thinking, there's just so much I don't know. Like, I don't even know your favorite Fish song, bro. I think that's like I think I got to know.
Okay. Well, it's Susie Greenberg.
All right, I got to go, dude. No, I'm like, yeah, no, with
Susie,
the horns.
Run Like an Antelope, Susie, Antelope, Reba, Lizards, and
You're naming like 6, dude.
I'm saying my top 5. It's hard. You can't say
okay.
one. It's impossible.
Mound. Just like that. Mound.
Mound.
That's how quick
Susie's
I did.
my easiest. Yeah, Okie Pa Susie is my favorite thing in the world.
Oh,
and,
that's yeah.
I heard that live twice, and the minute I hit it, the minute they went that boom, 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 and then into the Susie, I hit the ceiling, dude.
Yes.
Darien Lake 2000 was one of my favorites.
No shit.
Have you
I
been
was
to that
there. Yeah,
venue?
I have. Yeah, I live pretty close by. I chased Mound for a long time. And by mound, I mean mounds of cocaine. No,
of course.
But I chased it for
all?
so long, and just like I remember there was a time I had to leave early at like an Atlanta show, and they ended up encoring. I was so pissed. So then in Syracuse at the new amphitheater up there in Syracuse, the one that's built on like a junkyard or whatever the hell is going on up there.
Yeah.
I finally got my mound, dude, and it's something special. I'm sure Taylor Swift fans can get that. They catch the song they want. Tool fans probably, but there's something special about catching that song.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's interesting too, because a lot of people that when you try to explain a Fish fandom or fanaticism to someone who doesn't get it, and they're like, "Wait, so you've never heard that song before? Like you really?" And I'm like, "No, I've heard it. I just want to hear it again." And they're like, "Don't you have a tape of it or whatever?" And it's like, just shut the fuck up. Maybe you just don't get it. And maybe you could just like leave me alone for my, like.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it is, I know it's like, dude, you got to see it live, bro. That was like one of the, like Fish. It is something about seeing them live.
Right.
And it's not going to hurt if you're under some kind of psychedelia at the time. Because it hits different. If you don't, it's the Wiggles, dude. If you don't get Fish, they're like the Wiggles. It's goofy. Like, what do you mean the tire hits the road? It's very fucking, it's stupid. You know what I mean? But once you kind of get their groove and understand where they're coming from, it hits you like no band's ever hit me before.
Yeah. I don't understand what it is, but the minute I heard them, I remember it like it was yesterday. And my buddy in high school, it was my sophomore year in high school, and we traded dead tapes. And that was our thing. We do 6 for 6, 6 dead tapes for 6 dead tapes every day. And he goes, "You ever heard of Fish?" And I go, "No." And I never had. And I immediately had that kind of, if it's not the Grateful Dead, I don't like it kind of thing, you know? And who the fuck am I? I'm a 14-year-old snob. Like, fuck you. So but I was just so in love with the Grateful Dead. And dude, I put on New Year's 93, and it was rewound to right before Susie Greenberg. So that was like the first song I heard. And it was a pristine quality, like somebody taped it off of like the Boston radio station. Like they played it live on air. So it was like a crystal clear quality. Yeah. And it was just the energy,
so you were in love,
the crowd
immediately.
And it was this thing of like, I went to school the next day and I was like, buddy, I need all of this. Like I was jumping up and down on my bed to Antelope. Like I stayed up all night listening to that tape over and over and over. And I came in and I was like, dude, Reba, fucking all of it. It just blew my mind. And they just felt so energetic. And
mine was the opposite, dude. It did not click with me right away because I was like such a deadhead that when I listened to Fish, I was like, what is this heartless bullshit? Because all I heard is, because like, everybody wants to compare the two. I was like, I was like, they're not really a comparison.
No.
And then, you know, like I thought they were goofy, kind of like what I was talking about before. I was like, dude, they're goofy. I need like, you know, Jerry's really like, there's a romanticism that's involved with the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, there's sadness
Fish,
and death.
And heroin addiction.
Yeah.
And, you know, but the Fish didn't have, especially in the beginning, you know, when they were young, they were a little bit more goofier. So Jerry died on my birthday. It was So I remember I was on my birthday and somebody gave me a Fish tape again, and they're like, "Here," and I was like
chapter
on my birthday,
2.
Chapter 2. After Jerry died, I remember like I ended up taking acid, and which was a horrible day, like to take acid. I was like, it was sad.
Right. How old were you?
What was that? 94?
95.
95. My God, 72, 82, 92, 23.
Okay.
I think. 23 years old. Yeah,
right
I was 23, yeah. And I was hungover and shit. I remember when I heard it.
Yeah, me too.
I was like already puking from drinking Aftershock the night before, dude.
Oh,
yeah,
that's not a fun puke.
No. It was like candy fucking just...
Yeah.
Candy and Barf, you know? And...
Candy and Barf.
That's the name of my new band.
Candy and Barf.
Yeah, it was a bad day. But that was the day that also I was like, put my guards down for Fish. But what really opened it up for me with that band was they came to Canandaigua.
Yeah.
And I went to the show, and at the time we had some crazy Grateful Dead family, hippie dude staying with us, flying back and forth, getting raw crystal LSD.
Okay.
And bringing it back. So we were making like, I mean, am I going to get arrested? It's been years. I don't give a fuck. Whatever.
What is it? Statute of limitations?
Statutory rape is what I'm worried about. But they were making 10-packs in our living room, dude. We're licking the pans, thumbprints. It was crazy, dude.
Oh,
it's no wonder why, like, my brain I'm insane, but...
You're not insane.
We went and puddled before we went to see Fish in Canandaigua, and they did the 40-minute tweezer, that show. And to me, I just fell in love right there during that tweezer. That tweezer grabbed my soul and said, "You're just like," you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It was very humbling almost, honestly.
Yeah.
When I was like, okay, I got it now. I went to Saratoga the very next night. I was like, let's go.
Nice.
Stale grilled cheese.
What year was that? 95? 96?
I think that had been earlier than that.
Was this before Jerry died or after?
It was after Jerry died.
So 95 was Jerry's death. So
that might have been that. I wonder if it was that
95.
summer. If they played Canandaigua, I wonder if they did.
I don't remember. Well, Clifford Ball was 96.
Nerd will know.
Well, Clifford Ball was 96.
I definitely went to Clifford Ball.
Was it the same year as that?
No, it was before that.
Okay, so it was 95. We did it.
We did it. We got it down. Yeah, they did there. And then
Two
probably
nerd heads are better than one, for sure. We did it.
By the time I got to Clifford Ball, I was like, I love them.
That was my second show, Clifford Ball. My first was New Haven 95, and they did a tweezer that was like out of this world at that one. Tweezer, A Day in the Life. What a great show. That was That was
People like Springsteen. It's like people hear like us talking about fish and they're like, "Oh, what a freaking nerdy and blah, whatever." But everybody's got their thing. I bet you know what I mean? Maybe it's not Springsteen. Maybe it's the Buffalo Bills. Maybe it's whatever. But everybody's got their thing.
Oh, dude, got it right here. June 22nd, 95. Canandaigua.
So that was right.
Performing
So that must have
Center.
been right before Jerry died. Then that was like 2 months before.
It was 2 months before he died. And the Tweezer. Wow. Yeah. Holy shit. Theme from the Bottom. Oh my God. The second set was just 3 songs.
Yeah.
Theme from the Bottom. Tweezer reprise. So Jesus Christ.
Okay,
dude.
so I lied then. I guess it was Fish. I got into Fish like right before because that Tweezer is what really got me in.
Sample in a Jar, Son of a Mule, Ha Ha Ha, Divided Sky, Gula,
Guitar.
It's Ice, Strange Design, Maze, Cavern, Sweet Adeline. Theme, Tweezer reprise, Encore, Acoustic Army, While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's a show, dude.
It was.
So that was your first Fish show?
That was my first Fish show, yeah.
Okay, and mine was 12/2/95, which was like right down the road from you.
Yeah.
New Haven Coliseum. So you saw him a couple months before me.
Did you get to see Jerry at all?
No, I had tickets to Boston Garden September 9th, 95. Bought them from an ad in the back of Relics magazine. Stole my mom's credit card.
That's hilarious. Oh
and
my God.
They came in the mail, and I had the money for the tickets, and they came in like a steal your face envelope and
sick.
All that, and my mother freaked out. I remember they were $80 a ticket, and I gave her the money, and I said, Uncle Bill already said he's going to bring us. It's okay. It's me, Dave, Sean, my 3 like most trustworthy buddies.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's like, okay, all right. And I was so happy. And then I remember I was getting ready for work. I was helping my uncle build his house, who hated hippies and fish and all that. A big Bruce guy.
Is he really?
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, and he goes, my mom came up to my room with a coffee cup, and she had tears in her eyes, and she's like, someone you care about very much died. And I'm like, oh no, Poppy? Like, I thought, like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
My grandparents or whatever. And she's like, Jerry Garcia died. And I'm like, Ma, I'm going to the concert. Like, you already said I could, and don't pull this bullshit. So I put on 99 Rock WPLR, my local radio station, and Ship of Fools was on, and that's never on.
Oh, that's a bad sign.
And I'm like, oh no. Like at 9 a.m, they're playing Ship of Fools. And then this, that comes on and it's like, sad day here in the music world, Jerry Garcia. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. And I went to my uncle's.
I love that your mom, real quick, I love that your mom, you thought she lied to you about Jerry's death just so you wouldn't go to the show.
Yeah.
That's hilarious to me that your mom, that she would do that.
She wouldn't do that. I was just being
if you met a girl that she didn't want you to date, she'd be like, honey, I don't know if you heard, but Linda.
And I'm dating a Linda too in 96. What am I dating, the fucking school nurse?
That is a very Aunt name, isn't it?
Danielle. Yeah, Barbara called and she got called away.
Yeah, she's hanging out with Carol.
Yeah. So she was like, I'm so sorry, whatever. I go to my uncle's and I help him build this stupid house. And he's like, fuck that fat idiot. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. Just being a dick. I mean, seriously, just such an asshole. And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. My mom comes and picks me up.
Is your uncle fat? I gotta know.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
My mom comes to pick me up from my uncle's. Again, I'm 15 when this happened. She's got a little puppy with her. A little puppy. She hands me the puppy, and that was Casey Jones. That was my dog. Oh. So she got me she got a dog because she knew how upset. I mean, dude, my walls.
Dude, your mom rules, dude.
Yeah, she's amazing. She had I had siblings too, so they were all super excited. We were gonna get a dog, and she was like, "Now's a good time." So they went and got a puppy, dude, and she handed him to me. And I fucking just put the dog in my face and sobbed. And that was like how me and the dog like became like, nice to meet you. You know what I mean? Like I first met her. It was Casey Jones. So I wanted to name the dog Garcia, but my little sister told me I already had a fish named Garcia and it was against the law to have two pets with the same name. And
she's
I'm like,
right.
Yeah, she totally is. I didn't question it. So I'm like, is Casey Jones okay? And they were like, sure. So Casey Jones, he lived to be 16. And yeah, that dog was great. But no,
Wow.
that was,
So
and that
your
was
mom, what an emotional, like, your mom understood the emotional support that would help even back then.
absolutely. Yeah. I think she knew because I mean, like my walls were covered. Like some kids had like, Larry Bird and fucking Michael Jordan and whatever. I went through my like, of course I went through my like Chicago Bears, New York Mets, like Darryl Strawberry and Walter Payton all over the walls, and then I went through my Tony Hawk, Lance Mountain stuff on the walls. But the minute I got into the Grateful Dead, like middle school-ish, wall to wall, floor to ceiling, bears, skeletons, tie-dyes, like stars on the ceiling. Like it was like a fucking head shop in my room, when I was like 12, 13.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the cool things about that culture is the art that comes along with it just never ends. And the wonderful designs just never ends. It's
Well, you're wearing the Jerry shirt right now.
Yeah, shout out to my sister, Seven Brights Boutiques, dude. She makes killer boutiques. Go check her out.
What's it? Where do they find her?
It's Seven Brights Boutiques. You can find her on Insta.
Nice.
It's at Seven Brights Boutiques. Yeah.
All right, cool.
She sells out fast because her shit's pretty hot. But if you like boutiques, definitely go check her stuff out. She owes me money now.
I love that about all of the art of music, even like Iron Maiden, dude. Even like fucking Eddie, dude. Just like going into t-shirt shops and shit. We had a place where I grew up called Land of Oz, and it was basically like bongs and Madonna cone tit bras.
Oh yeah.
And
feathers with like fucking roach clips and shit.
Yes, dude, roach clip feathers. Then
Hell yes.
like Motley Crue Coke mirrors and
oh yeah, dude,
all that shit, right? And then but walls of t-shirts folded into plastic squares. You know what I mean? So like when you walk in and there's just walls of t-shirts, and I remember just getting so like blown away by like the Eddie, by all the Grateful Dead stuff. At first I thought maybe that the Dead, before I even heard the Dead, I thought maybe Iron Maiden and Grateful Dead were similar because they had such similar iconography.
Skull. It's kind of, because Eddie's a skull. He's a skull.
Like a mummy skull thing, and I'm like, all right, so, but then I hear the Grateful Dead and it was like cowboy music. And then I listen to Iron Maiden and it's like, I don't even know, prog rock, fucking, like what a knight listens to before a joust or something like that, like some weird fucking tunnel music,
How deep does your metal taste go? Like how deep?
I love Tool.
Okay.
I love anything Maynard, Perfect Circle, Pussifer. I like Ministry. I like industrial stuff like Clutch. I like a lot. I like.
But you go classic Metallica, probably, right?
Metallica, yeah. I'll tell you.
Not so much.
No. I like Metallica, but I don't seek out much. The metal I like is more kind of. I like Sabbath. I like old Scorpions and shit like that. Like the more proggy kind of weird shit. But I don't like AC/DC at all.
Yeah, I get that.
So fucking like whatever with them. I think it's just like Carpenter lunch break rock after a while, where it's like, okay, I've heard it on the radio 10 million times. And I have the songs I love, but and same with Metallica, same with Megadeth, same with all of them. But I mean, like, I go deep with, again, Tool, Helmet, Ministry, Minor Threat. I know Minor Threat's more punk. Minor Threat's all punk basically, but like Fugazi, shit like that I love. But I never got to. Oh, you know who else I love? Mastodon.
They're from here.
I love Mastodon. They're great.
Yeah, they're from Atlanta, but Braun and I can't remember the fucking guitarist's name right now, are from Rochester. And they used to play in a band around here called Lethargy, and they were like just a super sick, like tech metal band,
Nice, yeah.
Dude, and if you've ever come up here, they have the House of Guitars up here. It's like one of the biggest like record store with t-shirt. It's just stuff from the 70s till now. It's like people, all kinds of famous people get their guitars from there and shit. It's pretty dope, dude.
I would love to check it out. Well, I'll be up there sooner than later. We got to do shows together, Yeah,
we will.
So you and I have become pals, and it's been awesome because I'm learning a lot from you, and you interest the shit out of me because you've got like, you out of nowhere you sent me an album and you're like, yo, here's here's an album I recorded. And you gave me a little bit of like a background on like the time in which like the shit you were going through and everything that was going on. And I'm just like, whoa, man. And I know you as like, you do digital, you've helped me a ton with like a bunch of my digital projects and stuff. And you are a comic and you work with folks that are in treatment, right?
Special needs is what actually I'm doing now.
I thought it was
like recovery,
recovery and treatment.
Dude, I would never work in that field, dude. I'll tell you why. Because I was such a heroin addict that when I got sober, I did the sober thing. I did everything they told you to do, dude. I went to the meetings, I got the spot. I did everything, and it honestly, it saved my life. And I would never tell anybody in that situation to not do that. But after years of working and being around so many alcoholics and drug addicts, I don't think I could do that for a living. Not only is like half the people I know dead, it's kind of heartbreaking too.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought you were doing that. I thought that's what you were doing. My mistake entirely.
No, that's okay. I work with people with special needs. There's, tomato type of thing.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. There's definitely, if there was a Venn diagram, I'm sure that junkies are going to fall right there in the middle. But I don't know. I was a teacher. I after being a homeless junkie, I was like, all right, I got to go back to school and I got to do something with my life,
Okay.
And that's when I was like, I want to be a music teacher. I thought that would rule. I played in bands. I was like, I'd love to work with kids, that'd be. But by the time I ended up getting to be a teacher, dude, the boomers were still hanging on, and it was like very hard to become a music teacher in Rochester. So I just figured I'll become a regular teacher, and I started being a regular 6th grade teacher. And it was the worst occupation that I ever had in my life. And I'm $250,000 in debt right now because of my student loan. So it was a dumb decision.
I understand.
You know what I mean? It was but when you get sober, I was like, all right, dude, I got to do something with my life. If I would have hung on and known that I've always liked editing, I don't know why I didn't like go for that route more. Something like that.
But again, it's, you have education. You have the education, and as much as nobody could take that from you kind of thing. I hate that saying because it's like, yeah, no shit. But also I would sell my education in a heartbeat. If you could sell a used education, like a car.
Ooh,
yeah. Hey, here's a master's, barely any miles. You know what I mean? Like one owner.
Right. I have a Corolla. It's an 06 Corolla right now.
Yeah, dude.
It's paid for. It's done. It drives. I would, dude. Honestly, what I feel like all I did was pay for those. It was a lot of work. My master's degree was brutal. But looking back, was it the pay that I get is not worth the money that I paid to get those degrees? I'll tell you that.
No, it's fucked up. Nobody, you're never making what you spend on education. It's bullshit.
But then again, when it comes down to it, dude.
When I was in school, they really made us like, they were petrified. They scared the shit out of us. They were like, if you don't go to school, you're going to be living on the streets. You're a garbage man. You're a ditch digger. Like things that are like fine careers too, by the way. But they made it literally like, if you don't go to school, if you don't take out loans, the whole town is going to chase you out.
They would make it sound like you were stupid if you didn't go. And you were a dumb kid that.
Yep. I should have started a landscaping company and just stuck with it. And I would have been a happy landscape company owner now, never would have done stand up, never would have done other things, but it doesn't matter. I would have been happy cutting lawns and blowing leaves and building rock walls. If I just,
I tried to join the Marines.
That's what you would have done?
I did. I tried.
You tried?
That's because I was like, I tried. It was a valiant effort. And I'll tell you why. I got kicked out during boot camp because, it's wild, dude. I only did it because I was like, this girl put this recruiter would come during the lunchroom and like try to recruit kids in high school.
I remember that.
And this one girl thought she'd be silly and she put my name on the list. Right. So this dude's contacting me and, don't you want to be a Marine? I'm like, no, I'm just getting into the Grateful Dead and mushrooms. Like, that's the last thing The furthest thing is a Marine. But
Yeah.
then he dropped those words, "Don't you want to make your old man proud?" And I was like, you know what? I do. My dad was in the Army. He's like a man. He's like your uncle. My dad's like your uncle. Imagine, you know what I mean?
Apologies.
Works on houses, construction guy. Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, I do want to make my dad proud, man. Oh my God, that's it. I'm too dumb to go to college. I'll just join the Marines. And then I got there, and so quickly, I hated my life, dude. They yell at you there. I don't know if you know this, but they yell. I was so young and immature and physically could not fucking hang. People were pissing their pants because like they wouldn't let you go pee on purpose.
God, really?
You have to say, "Sir, recruit Gursslin requests permission to make a head call, sir." "Not now, Gursslin." "Sir." And then they would say no, and then like, "You pee, man. You gotta pee.
And that's it. Then you're running around all day with piss in your pants.
Then you're pee-pee boy too. Then they call, pee-pee boy. You know what I mean? They fucking call you.
Dude.
Dude, it's like, and there's some people that like thrived in that. And I just was not.
No,
I was called pee-pee boy all of high school. I got to be called now when I get to the Marines too. It was awful.
Seriously, yeah. That's not good. I'm sorry that happened. Jesus Christ. I never had any interest in military anything. I never understood it. I swear to God, that's one thing. And listen, not like un-American or whatever. I don't care. But it's just this thing of like, I never had that like, I got to go fight for my country. I just never had that. I never had that. I never got it. And I still don't.
The guilt of wanting to make my father proud was way more intense than being fighting for the country.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that,
Yeah, I just had the goal to get my father to forget my name. that was fine. 2 seconds after I graduated high school, I was like, I'm out of here. Got an apartment with my buddies, and it was just mayhem from that point on. Just partying.
You'll dig this. When I got kicked out of the Marines, right, I scratched home on my arm. Like with they give you like one of those Bic razors. It's got like the one shitty razor in it.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, I know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I was like, I took it out and I scratched like home in my arm. I was like, they'll think I'm crazy. They'll understand I want to go home. They're like, no, you're starting back at day one now. So it totally worked. Yeah, it was bullshit. So when I did get home though, the dad were coming to Buckeye Lake. It was like 91, I think.
Okay.
91
yeah, Buckeye Lake, Ohio.
And my dad's like, meanwhile, my dad was being a total douche nozzle to me. Like in the morning, he was waking me up like a drill instructor himself. Like, come on, you're getting up. And I'm like, it's like just wacky, wacky shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to go to the Grateful Dead show at Buckeye Lake. And my dad was like, if you go, and you come back, you're going to find your shit packed up in the front lawn. And I was like, dude, I've heard that since I was like 9. If you do this, you're going to find your shit packed up in the front lawn. So I was like, fucking peace out, dude. Went down there with my shaved, fresh cut just from getting out of the Marines. Had a blast. I came home and my shit was totally in the front yard when I got there. He
meant it this time.
Oh, he meant it. And it was the greatest thing that could ever happen. I was like, I figured it out. I figured it out and I was free.
Yeah. Yeah. When it forces you, when life is like, yeah, this is the moment that you got to take the next step, you're like, all right, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's figure it out.
Hopefully you were just cool enough to people along the way that they'll be there to help you out because like I had at the time my drummer was like, dude, move right. You come on in,
Perfect. Yeah.
He said he could bang my girlfriend. It was fucking awesome.
Oh,
man.
That's neat. Wow.
Yeah.
The whole thing. He rolled out the red carpet.
He did not say that, but
I didn't think so. So when did you... Oh, man, you threw homeless in there, like you when you were going through your story, and I kind of want to know, like, I'm always wondering when I see folks that are homeless that don't have to be, like, what was the moment when you went from having a home to being homeless? Like, where was it? Like, where was that day, that first day when you're like, I don't have anywhere to go,
dude?
If it's okay that I ask.
No, that's totally okay, and I want to say that. Because I think this is kind of important to say is that I see a lot of people like, most people are a paycheck or two away from their whole world being fucked up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Like
so many people.
So the classist bullshit that I constantly see online, it's like, dude, we're all kind of in this together, you know?
Yeah.
So, but when you do heroin, it makes it easier to be homeless. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I was working a great job and didn't have 2 paychecks. You know, I was a piece of shit and I was fucking doing drugs. So, but what happened was nobody wanted to be around me anymore, dude. I burned at the bridges, smoked the bridges. You know what I mean? Like, everybody did. I usurped all of the energy and everything from the people around me. Not even finance. I just usurped it all from them, dude.
Wow.
And they were just done. I remember I got back from Seattle and had nowhere to go. And I went up to my mom's. I figured it's my mom. Moms, you know what I mean? Mom gives you puppies when your fucking icon dies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I know
My mom, she opened the mail slot. You know the ones that go like when you can open up like that from the front. She's like, her eyes just like, what? I'm like, Mom, I know where to go. She's like, nope, you can't come here. And she would just fucking
tough love at that point, huh? Was it tough love or was it just?
Well, yeah. I was like, it was very DiCaprio Basketball Diaries type. I was like, fuck, this is bullshit, fucking mom, fuck. And then, you know, you get some sobriety and some age, and I realized that helped me hit my bottom.
Yeah, and it was probably the hardest thing she ever had to do, right? Was to say no to you.
She probably cried.
Of course.
Dude, I remember, like, this isn't how much of a piece of shit that I was. Like, when I was homeless, I remember flying a cardboard sign. And, like, you know, I played in bands that were pretty popular around here. People were driving by me as I was holding the cardboard sign. It was it was demoralizing, you know?
Yeah.
And one morning, my mom saw me on the side of the road holding the cardboard sign, and she, like, pulled over and started crying, dude. Like, she was like, to her, she was like, I'm a failure of a mom. It hurt her so bad to see me in a situation. And I remember my brain in that time, I was like, oh, this is the perfect time to manipulate her and get money. I was like, Mom, if I $100 more, I know I want to stop too. If you give me $100 right now, I'll use that to stop. You know what I mean? So I was like, my mom's in that situation, and I'm already thinking,
how do I capitalize off this? Yeah,
usurp, dude. That's what a lot of, you know, people with addictions and mental illness do to other people. You know?
Yeah, and it's a sickness. It's not like you would do that like knowingly, like you wouldn't, you know.
No.
So how did you first try it? What was your first like foray into heroin? If you don't mind talking about it. Is it okay if I ask?
No, it helps me too talking about this stuff. It brings it back to a point. It makes me more grateful than ever of where I am now. You know,
yeah. You're awesome, bro.
It
helps people.
I'm an awesome dad, dude. I fucking love being a dad. It's the coolest shit ever. I know that, like, people are like, I watched your last podcast with Q where you guys were like, yeah, fuck kids, I'll fucking fuck them in the ear, fucking they can whatever,
Never
dude.
said that. But...
Okay, maybe not the fucking the ear part, but it's like one of the greatest things that's happened to me, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure it's amazing. It's partial jealousy when I say that, you know.
Yeah, well, I have partial jealousy when I see you getting to do whatever the fuck you want to. So, but it was my 25th birthday, and we were all partying in a park. And this seems like it's getting to a setup of why the first time I used heroin. Okay?
Sure.
So it was my 25th birthday. We're in Letchworth Park around here. It's beautiful. We're drinking. We didn't know that it was like you couldn't have open container. Okay. Right. So all of a sudden there's like the sheriff show up and they're like, all right, you guys put down your beer. It was my birthday. I was being a little cocky and I already had it up to my face. I finished the beer. He said, over here now. I'm like, God damn it. I explain it's my birthday. He's like, hold on here. He ran my name. He comes back. He goes, you have a warrant for your arrest. I was like, what? He's like, you have a warrant for your arrest for like a weed charge or something like that. No shit. And I was like, are you on my birthday? Took me away from my party, dude. My own fucking birthday party. They drove me around trying to like arraign me, but it was like a weekend, so it was hard for them to do. And then finally, they're ready to throw me in like the Rochester jail. They had the outfit, and they're like, "Your name is Stevie Sykes, right?" And I'm like, "No, it's Todd Gursslin." And they're like, they got the wrong person. Stevie Sykes was my friend that was still back at the fucking party. Dude.
Amazing.
So they're raging at the party. Now I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what am I gonna do for my birthday? And I'm like, oh, I know. I have one friend that wasn't at the party because he's a junkie now because he doesn't do anything. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to see what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it was then when went over there and snorted a couple lines of heroin and played solitaire like I was in heaven. It was just playing solitaire. Just sitting there chilling, playing solitaire. Wow. It was like all the bullshit, the reasons to go to Marines because of my dad. All the shit was it was gone.
Wow.
It's like God sucking your dick and stealing your wallet at the same time, dude. That's
interesting. The old reach around.
Yeah. And after that, it was like, okay, well, can't do that again. But then, I was partying so much, doing a lot of ecstasy back then, doing a lot of different drugs, selling drugs. So I was in the scene. It's not like, I wasn't participating in partying all the time anyways.
Right.
But once that got introduced, it was just creeped in all the time. Then there's those levels of, well, dude, I'm going to snort it. I'll never shoot it, dude. I'm never going to use a needle. I'm never going to, I don't even want to know how to do it. And then within a couple of years, I got scar tissue all over my body because I fucking shot up literally in every fucking vein you could think of. When I went for my colonoscopy the other day, it took longer for them to find a vein, dude,
Really?
than the whole thing. I was sitting there.
You have like collapsed veins, or is it like?
Yeah, they're just like they've all hit a varicose, dude, from all down my legs, even in my back, my neck. I don't know if that scars right there. Like those are all from what I fucking was shooting up. So it's yeah, dude.
God damn. And how long was from when you first your 25th birthday till how long were you using?
From 25th birthday up until 2006. So I think I was like 33 or whatever that is.
Whoa. That's a long time.
Yeah. I started at 25 and then slowly progressed. And by the time I got sober in 2006, I got bad, dude.
It was bad.
Oh, yeah. Like, I was like, I need to get sober, dude. I got to get the fuck out of Rochester. It's Rochester's fault. It's everybody's here's fault. I just need a break. I'm going. And I was like, I know. I'm going to go out and stay in Seattle.
Oh, great.
Seattle.
Know, yeah.
Like, I know. I'm like, there's literally a needle there in the middle of the fucking city.
Waiting for you. Yeah.
Oh,
seriously.
yeah. Dude, within 10 minutes of me being there, I already found out, this is disgusting, but I needed a needle, so I found a fucking homeless diabetic lady and fucking grabbed her used needle for $5 within the first hour of being in Seattle, dude. So I was like, who was I fooling?
No. Yeah, of course. Jesus.
It's just
and did
another
you know
way to isolate.
Out there?
I did. Yeah, okay. God loved those people because, man, when I moved out there, they really did try to help me. And I did get on my feet for a little bit when I was out there. You know what I mean? I was doing like some methadone, but I was always sneaking it. I got a job, but I was still always chipping away, like sneak off and get some heroin. And, so then it just got to the point where I was just full blown back at it.
Oh, man. Were you like a functioning, no. You weren't. It was.
Well, I could tell you how I did it is when I went out to Seattle, I met some Mexican dudes that sold heroin. It was very hard to get to the connects itself. It was always be a middleman. So I met him. So I started the first time about $40 worth, got 20 because at this point when I was homeless, I was like, all right, I'm going to get this 20, go to another homeless kid and start fucking sell them the 20. Built that up, met a couple of custies, as they say, that lived on the outskirts of Seattle that wanted to come and spend like $1,000 on dope. So I started making the money to be able to supply myself and live by fucking selling fucking drugs.
Wow. Oh.
Got pistol whipped in the fucking head.
Oh, man.
And robbed.
That's
yeah,
such
dude.
And then you're out in Seattle where you're not home, and there's something about home that I don't know, something about turning your life around or whatever. I think there's something about being home that makes it hard, but also easier.
No, I think that it's hard. People will call you on your bullshit more when you got people around you.
Yeah.
This is where you live. It's hard. It's easier to stay accountable, I think, when you got all these people around you. When I was out there, I knew that, dude. I was like, all the people that I was even any kind of had accountability to were pretty much were gone.
Yeah.
So I was free to basically make all the mistakes that I needed to make, you know?
Oh man, I know. When I moved out to Denver, I had like a pretty massive breakup, and I moved out to Denver by myself. I had a buddy that moved out there. I just needed to clear my head, so I took a drive cross country with him, and I got there, and man, just got mixed up with some fucking crazy people, and was just it was coke all the time, all night, like just sitting up by myself after the party was over, like, what am I doing here? Like, why don't I just keep going to the desert? I'm here alone. Nobody cares. You know, all my friends were back. It was the lowest point in my life. And I remember there being like a day or two when I like woke up and there was like some like blow left over from the night before. And I'm like, oh, do I do it now?
That's rare.
I know. But it was this thing of like
fucking pussies.
I know, right? And I just had some left over, and I was just like, maybe I should just start the day off with it. And that's when I was like, uh-oh. Luckily, about 3 months later, I had a horrible snowboarding accident that like I needed to fly home and have reconstructive surgery. And I think that saved my life because then I came home, had surgery, and started doing stand-up. And then I was like, fuck Denver. So like every time I go there, I have this like bittersweet kind of like, I'll pass a block and I'm like, I remember just like hanging out at 4 or 5 in the morning outside of like a Grateful Dead bar with like junkies and all types. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? But I never tried heroin or anything like that. But it was just coke was the deepest and darkest I got.
And I think that just like homeless, you know, if people can end up addicted to, like, you know, nobody's too good to end up just to being an addict.
No.
You know what I mean? I think there's definitely is a predisposition and there's all kinds of other things that are at play. But you keep doing coke and you're going to be a cokehead.
Oh, shit, of course. And also there's just this like romantic loneliness to all of it, that it's like you versus the world, where it's like no matter what's going on, I can sneak off into the bathroom and like no one knows, and it's like my little secret, and fuck everybody. That was my thing, where I was just like, oh, I'm getting away with something, you know?
Yeah, dude.
And it's just like, but what the fuck am I doing? Like, how stupid. And then and again, it was like that thing of, and I had a blood clot in my lung when I was 25, and like I was always scared that like the minute I did drugs, I would die immediately, but I still did them. And it was almost just that weird kind of, you know, I would do a line and then I'd be like, oh, I'm going to die.
Yeah. See, that's mental illness.
Of course.
And I'm not joking. Like that's like, you know what I mean? Like that's like what that, and I understand, I completely can understand that too. It's like, all right, it might kill me, but it's like,
it's worth it.
It's worth it.
What am I not going to do it? Like, you know, like that whole fucking, and then it was just those things of, I mean, I'm so happy I got all that out of the way before comedy, because holy shit, I'd be dead. You know what I mean? Like that was like comedy was like the thing where I'm like, no, nothing can, I remember having the opportunity to like do coke before going up a couple times. And I was like, no, because if I do it and I do great, I know I'm going to be like, I need it.
Yeah.
You know? And then you can't go up without
it. But anytime I've seen a performer that any comic I know goes up that's fucking railed, I can always tell, dude. I'm like, I always feel like, just by their face alone, I was like, oh, so
you can't be.
You
funny.
Probably wouldn't do better.
You can't be funny. No, of course.
When I'm on coke, I'm in my own head so much, dude. Even worse than any other time and any other thing with coke, because I have lots of energy, but when I do coke, it shuts me down.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, me too.
I'm stuck in my own head.
Oh, dude, it's so weird. I have the opposite thing of like where coke makes me mellow and calm and peaceful and like kind and introverted, and I don't have to talk. It shuts my anxiety down. And that's what scared me, was like, it was like the one thing that worked, because nothing I was doing was working. So it was just this thing of like, whenever I did it, I was like, oh, I feel amazing. But then I was just like, because I always would talk because out of nervousness, I was like scared of silence or whatever. And then if I did some, I was the guy in the bar just like nursing a beer, calm, just assessing the situation. I was never fighting. I was never going nuts. It was just this thing of like, it made me smart. I felt it made me like, it was what I needed, essentially. It was psychedelic in a way.
That was the opiates for me.
Yeah, I hate
Dude,
see,
like
yeah.
when I did opiates, I'd be like, it's time to clean my room. It's time to like get going. Like it would make me feel like ready to go.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
But that's all just so much bullshit.
It's all
dude.
bullshit. It's all bullshit.
so much bullshit.
It really is. So you go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say I've accomplished more being sober than I ever fucking did when I was drinking and using. You know, I haven't drank in a long time either. And only because I'm afraid if I ever drink, then it's a possibility I could do coke or something. Like it just put those inhibitions down enough.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I see people when they're drunk. I see you, and I'm always like, oh, this is so annoying right now.
Oh, I know.
And I worry about however I'm like, oh, y'all just gonna drive home. You know, like this is how, you know.
Booze is the fucking worst, dude. I mean, it really is. Like, I've always thought about, like, and I had a joke in an old set of my, just like how, you know, weed's a gateway drug, booze is it's just gateways to different evenings. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You're gonna, like, every mistake I've ever made in my life that I hate myself about has always been booze related. Always been booze.
I've never been arrested sober, dude.
No. I've never had psychedelic regret. You know what I mean? Like I've never been like, oh man, I shouldn't have been so nice last night on those mushrooms. Yeah. But booze has always been the thing that like leads you to what the fuck am I doing? You know?
Yeah, it's weird. Psychedelics, I've never the next morning been like, oh, what did I do last night, dude? It's never been like, it'll be like, what have I been doing for the past 4 years? You know what I mean? Like,
no, it's more like, what am I going to do today? Like you wake up like fucking, what? So are you, psychedelics are a no-no as well?
Depending on the situation,
nothing,
I would
right?
do it.
Correct. Like you've been completely sober for...
No. Well, I was up until the pandemic. Then the pandemic came, and I started smoking weed again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, and it was a wonderful thing to happen during the pandemic. It actually started with CBD, man.
Yeah. Sunset Lake. You smoke Dented for 20% off.
That's right. If you want to relapse, you can also get it. No, but yeah, it was just during the pandemic and we're stuck inside. And then like I just started smoking a little reefer and it really did make my life a little bit more kind and manageable. And, you know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, did you have a moment where you kind of like that rock bottom? So like, did you run out of money, run out of drugs, run out of people to call? Like you was literally you alone in the universe out in the streets and in the rain. And you're just like, what do I do?
I can tell you the day before what happened. I was with my girl at the time and it's funny. We hooked up and she's like, I'm going to get you sober. Within a year, she was fucking smoking crack and doing heroin, fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right along with me. And so we're partying, and she had to go to the gynecologist, and she found out she's pregnant, right? Now, meanwhile, we're fucking doing coke, heroin, fucking drinking, and we're like, what the fuck? You're pregnant? And like, the only coping mechanism I had at that time was to use. So we were like, all right, well, let's get a couple 40s. Fucking, we'll go get a bag. We'll discuss this. Let's, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We got let's get correct first. And then it crushed me so much because she's like, we have to get the A-bomb. Yeah. You know, I mean, and it crushed me because like I've always wanted to be a dad. And considering that my dad was kind of a fucking doo-doo head, it's surprising. But I think that may be why is because I get to be the dad that I knew. I knew that I knew what I needed growing up that I didn't get, and I get to do that now. And there's something pretty awesome about that.
Yeah.
So I was literally on my knees, like, what the hell, dude? That was my chance. I could have it be a dad. I'm in at that point I was like 30 something, like early 30s or something. So I was like, you know, that's what it was. I was like, I need to get my shit together. I was like, if this ever happens to me again, I want to be in a situation where I can be a good dad.
Wow.
I'm not going to stop fucking, so, you know what I mean?
No. Yeah, you stopped shooting. Yeah, so that was it. So that was the day you decided.
It was. Literally the next day I started going to 12-step meetings. Wow. And then bang, bang, bang. I literally just listened to whatever they told me to do, I did. Just because I was so scared of everybody was dying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My ex-girlfriend is dead.
Ugh.
She was we used together, and we were like partners in crime type of thing. You know,
Right.
we were also fire and gas, but
I get it. I understand.
you
that.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like one of those situations where she was like, it was wild, but we passionately loved each other too.
Yeah, I know. I was in one of those too.
Yeah.
Where it was like you're either madly in love or you're like throwing shit at each other. Like it's just like there's no in between. Yeah. It's just insanity.
Yeah, she's dead. Yeah, she's dead.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
When you I had a moment with, and I'm not comparing, I'm just wondering if it feels the same. Anxiety and depression and panic and all this other shit. And I was doing a lot of psychedelics and a lot of work with therapy and all that. And I got to a point during one of the treatment sessions where something was just like, you're the only one holding on to this. Like, let go, surrender. And it was just this feeling of like, finally freedom of like, oh, I don't have to hold on to this bullshit that I'm holding on to. Is there a point in kicking junk that you go like, all I got to do is just surrender and like let go? I'm not saying it's that simple.
No, I mean, you're saying it. No, you're saying the words that are exactly correct.
Really?
Surrender to win, right? Like
Is that what it is?
Surrender to win.
Okay.
Once you, and then once you realize that like you're whooped, you're beat, and that comes out like the first step in a lot of 12-step programs is admitting that you have a problem. So I think that's that is part of the whole thing, is surrendering to the whole thing, and that's why when people call themselves alcoholics, that's them surrendering basically. It's for the rest of that, which I don't, I don't buy into all of some of the dogmatic shit that goes on in AA, but that's basically what they're saying. When you say you're an alcoholic, you're surrounding for the rest of your life saying, "Hey, I'm an alcoholic," and that's why daily I'm doing something about it.
Wow. And it got easier and easier as you kept. Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't
the
it
first
so
5 years were
interesting?
fucking crazy, dude.
5 years.
Oh, it took 5 years for me to like kind of. They say this is such a lame AA thing, but it's like they say it takes 5 years to get your marbles back, and then another 5 years to learn how to play with them.
I could see how that would get annoying.
It's all. There's so many dumb little things like that in AA.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you just ran over a kid with a fucking DWI. Now you're talking about let go, let God.
Let go, let God. Yeah, one day at a time and all that shit.
But it works. It works if you work it. I can't see there's so many.
I get it. Do you still go? Do you still go to meetings and?
No, I didn't. When the pandemic hit, I was like doing a little Zoomy here and there. But I'll tell you what happened is the world's gotten so political, and it sucks, dude.
I know.
And it's supposed to be, principles before personalities in recovery. But I was seeing people in recovery posting stuff online that I was just like, I can't look up to you and ask and want you to help me in my life if I don't even think you're that a decent human being. So politics have kind of put that divide out there, So
that sucks.
Yeah.
To get in the way of treatment. I mean, that's
But in saying that, if I needed a meeting, I would go to. I have plenty of friends that are still in recovery and that I talk to, so I am not far away if I wanted to go to a meeting. And I'm not anti. I just feel the need to not really go anymore.
I mean, that's great. I mean, it sounds to me. Well, listen, and also, you're a dad. You did it. The reason why you quit is that. You have a kid and you love your kid.
Dude, that's cool. That's a good connection. Yeah, I won basically.
You did. You succeeded. Like you did it, and that's forever. And that's like a thing that like that's important. That's so badass in a way. Like because if you think about it, and your dad being a doo-doo head, and I'm quoting you. I don't know your dad.
Yep. Hey man, easy. Yeah.
Listen, spoken from a son of a doo-doo head. The long-term benefit of you going through what you went through, right? Playing music, doing comedy, doing all this kick-ass digital shit, with him is, I mean, we didn't have that. So how amazing of a lesson you went through all of this. I think we go through all of it to help the next people. You know what I mean? And you quit so you would be what he needed and what he wanted, right? And you fucking did it, dude. How sick is that? You got to stop
and
every now and then.
Like, more than my student loans.
Yeah, fuck it. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're all going to die with
You know
loans,
what I mean?
dude.
Like all the rent, the fucking, the algorithm, you know what I mean? All of it, when it comes down to it, like that is like, I won.
You did.
You know what I mean? Like as long, I just have to continue to do that, you know, keep going on.
But it's not, I mean, every time you need a reminder, there's that little guy, right?
Totally.
He's cool shit too, huh? You guys get along great.
Yeah, he's cool, man. He's so much smarter than me already. Like he's such a smart little, like he does good at school. I don't get it. Like he's no problems. Just got his report card. He's got outstanding in like 4s and everything. It's amazing.
That's sick.
That was not me in school at all.
No. I always wanted to be a dad, but you know what? I don't think I have it in me to, I'm not going to be, but I'm not. It's too late. And also I think I'm too nervous, and I don't think that it's right for everyone to have a kid. And I know that I would ruin it for myself and him, her, whatever. And if anybody ever made my kid feel uncomfortable or bullied or whatever, I'd want to fucking kill him. And I think if my kid ever made anybody uncomfortable, I'd get too disappointed, you know? And I also feel that the world, I don't know, I would be so nervous, but what the fuck, man?
No, I hear you.
It's just that thing.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Are you an uncle?
I am. I'm a very good uncle.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, that's like kind of the best of both worlds type of thing.
It is.
But I will say in this is like, you can say like, there was something that happened when I had the kid that is like an instinct dad thing that does kick in.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean, but I guess that's not the case for everybody because there's piece of shit dads. Doo-doo head dads everywhere, you know?
Yeah, doo-doo heads.
So I guess that's not necessarily true, but, you know, I would say most decent people that are looking and always learning to get better and better themselves and communicate with people and do what's right, I feel like something kicks in where you just do it.
You just do it.
Know? Well, you just do it.
You bring up something and I wanted to ask you about it. And it's like, this might be the hard thing for, I don't know, never been a woman, so I can't say. I think this might be hard for men. It's hard for me. You look back on who you were. You look back on things you did when you were in those horrible, like boozy times or junky times, whatever. When that critic kind of comes up, right, and starts to middle of the night, you're just about to fall asleep, and that piece of shit goes, "Hey, remember that time you blah 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 stole this or called someone this?" What's your advice for people that deal with that shit? Like, how do you deal with it? Because we all have it. I know we all have that critic. How do you not let it fucking ruin your night or ruin your day? Like, after all you've been through, like, what's your go-to to like shut that voice up?
I'll say there's two things, okay? The first thing is if you're having that voice over and over again, that means you need to have action. Put the thoughts to action because there's something you're not doing.
Yeah.
If you do that, it might be that you need to make an amends to somebody. It might, whatever it is, then that will dissipate because you're taking care of your business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, if it's something that you have completely like owned up to and it's still messing with you, then I think that's when it comes down to really learning to be easy on yourself. We are so hard, especially comics too. We're so hard on ourselves. You know what? This too shall pass as well. At night, you know, it's like by the morning, it probably won't be as big a thing. By tomorrow, by next year, it probably will not be as big a thing.
That's it. I agree 10 million %, dude. It's giving it a length of time, whether it's don't say that sentence, wait an hour, wait a day, wait a week, wait a year, wait a whatever. Not being reactive is so important. And I think that was the thing this like the ketamine treatment and cognitive behavioral therapy in particular, exposure therapy and stuff like that, where you kind of have to like sit with your fears and go like on a scale of 1 to 100, like if this shit happened, like, am I going to die? Is anybody going to die? Am I killing someone? Is this real? Who cares if everybody doesn't like me? Who cares if and then you actually like look at it and see if it happened, what do you do? And you go like, oh my God, the sun still comes up. The sun still goes down. Fucking, I'm going to take another shit. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to eat. And then time in between you and that moment. And you're like, oh, it's over. I don't even think about it anymore.
There's definitely things a year ago that I probably was pissed or knocked something over or was upset for a few, who knows what it was. And I don't even remember what that is now, but I know that I've done that a few times last year. So that just proves to show that it's like, okay, just letting the emotions get the better of me and that's just not productive. Although it can be, you got to feel your feels. You got to feel your feels. But like you said, you got to give it that time, give it a limit.
And you only give it what it deserves. You don't give it all of your, I've been calling it lane assist lately, where it's like, like when you start to drift out of the lane, the car goes beep, 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 and brings you back in.
Yeah.
Like that's where like you got to have lane assist on, because if you start to drift off into those like self-hatred lanes or fear lanes or regret or reaction, you got to just get back into that middle lane and just fucking stay in the lines, dude. Dude,
that's why I got to say I'm grateful that you had me on the show today, is because I know this is going to sound like, pitiful, but I was literally just thinking like last night, like, dude, I suck. You know what I mean? I was like, comedy. I was like the editing. I was like literally everything. I was like, it just sucked, dude. I was like, you know what I mean? Like nothing is how I want it to be. I don't know. I was just like, maybe I'm just a talentless hack, dude. The music never worked out. It's just like looking at things of like that's never really worked out. And looking back now, honestly, after this conversation, I realized that it made some perspective for me.
Well, good. But first of all, I just want to say that like the grass is always, whatever you call it. I don't even know if this grass is greener. Yes. It's grass with CBD on the other side. No, dude,
Dented.
I call you out of frustration and with myself and anger with myself at my inability to concentrate, learn anything new. I'm constantly beating the shit out of myself about how come I can't make a fucking clip? How come I can't learn editing software? How come I can't, whatever. And the patience that you have with my fucking stupid shit, and we haven't even shaken hands yet, dude. And like, you've got this like level of like, it's all right, bro. Don't worry. Like, we're going to get this done. It's going to be great. And you're patient. And we have like a back and forth and all this. But I look at that and I hang up the phone and I'm like, I don't look at it in any other way, but like, I wish I had what you had. I wish I can do what you can do. I wish that, and I'm not saying you were looking at that opposite with me, but it's just the thing of like, you don't suck. Like I would never in a million years, like you sent me a fucking album that you made. Like you made a music album. Like that's nuts, dude. And like you did it. And the fact that you say it didn't work out is like, yeah, it did. You saw through a project. Like you set out to make an album and you made an album. And I mean, you're doing stand-up. You're a dad. You work helping people during the day. When you're not helping people at work, you're dealing with fucking dented idiots like me that are like, yo, help me with this and whatever.
Well, it's my pleasure because I like doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but every now and then you got to think about like, here's what I want to say is like, I think it'd be weird if you didn't think you sucked. Because then you're like, I'm good. That's not healthy. You know what I mean? Like there's
those people are disgusting.
This whole loving yourself thing is, I think you just got to like not liking yourself. You know what I mean? I think that's the key.
Totally.
I think you just got to be okay with like, I'm not perfect and I'm not whatever. You know what I mean? And like keep getting better. But like, no, dude, I see the shit you do and I'm like, we work together. All the clips that have been fucking going great have been you. and I love how they look, and I love how, and I could never do it, but I don't know, dude.
I appreciate that. We work pretty good on those. We come up with some pretty good ideas for those clips. Some of those are fun. That tripping one where you fucking freaked out the kids is one of my favorite videos that we made, dude.
Well, yeah, you made it, bro. You made it.
That's
give
cool.
yourself love and give yourself credit, but don't over love yourself, because then that's fucking gross.
It
you know?
is. Yeah.
It really is.
I mean, I love myself enough to not beat myself up.
There it is. There it is. Yes. Like not liking yourself. That's the key.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
This was
great.
It is. This was great.
It really was, man. Thanks so much for having me, bro.
Come back on. We'll do it again. We got a lot more work to do.
We do. We're gonna get some clips going. You got some exciting things coming up too. So
yeah. Well, I'm happy to be hanging with you. Tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on all the social at Todd Gursslin, ToddGurslin, and I also co-host on a podcast called Degenerate Boomer Podcast with an older lady friend of mine. She's not like a lady like that. No, she's a lesbian, so we have fun. So it's Degenerate Boomer. Yeah, go check it out.
Awesome, dude. You're the best. And thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. And again, if you're having a good time, share, rate, review. It goes a long way. Subscribe at Mike Finoia.
Go do that. Go leave a review.
All that shit. Come
Would
on.
you stop right now? And whatever standing around, stop. Just go put a review in, because it really does help out. Help Mike make some money, so maybe I can make some money so I can pay that fucking student loans off. Let's go.
It's all going to Todd, guys. So come on. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.